Welcome in on the campus of GlenOak High School. Welcome everybody. We have sectional finals for you here tonight on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel, and we are excited to be here as the GlenOak Golden Eagles are going to take on the Austintown Fitch Falcons. And again, it's for the sectional title and a chance to advance in the OHSAA Boys Varsity Basketball Tournament to districts. Welcome again, everybody. I'm TJ Downing, joined by my partner, Jeff, the natural Tyler, and we have a good one here for you as we're getting our officials rocking and rolling, dialing them up, dapping them up. We got both coaches that we just saw on the screen, and as we talk about these guys here first, as we lead you in this Fitch Falcon team, they are 12-10 on the season, 5-3 inside of the All-American Conference. You know, they finished the regular season with a 4-point win over Alliance, and if you missed it last night, go over and check out our Twitter feed, Facebook, Instagram. We were out there at Harry Fales Gymnasium, and that is a good Alliance basketball team. They dominated Geneva 81-54. Some serious talent on Coach Sean Witherspoon's team. We'll talk a little bit more about this Fitch team in just a second. Let's turn it over to the GlenOak Golden Eagles, 17-6 on the season, 8-4 inside of the Federal League. Last time I was here to call one alongside the shooter, Lee Foster, they would drop one here for the Federal League Championship to the Green Bulldogs. Now, you look at this game last Tuesday, Jeff. They beat the Lake Blue Streaks to advance to this game. GlenOak had a packed house inside of this gym. It was a 44-39 ball game. To get to this point, to come back after a low-scoring game, what we all probably know is maybe one of the marquee matchups, first-round matchups in the state of Ohio. Boy, that's a lot to deal with. We'll talk more about it after we hear the national anthem. All right, great job on the playing of our national anthem here inside of the GlenOak High School Gymnasium as, again, we get you set for the sectional final between the GlenOak Golden Eagles and the Austintown Fitch Falcons. Jeff, you had a chance to get eyeballs on that game on Tuesday night. That was a Lake Blue Streaks team, well coached by Tom McBride. They came in here and they pushed the GlenOak Golden Eagles. The GlenOak Golden Eagles running out to a 9-0 start on this season, hit a couple speed bumps, but to be able to work some young sophomores with what we know Ja'Cory Lipkins to be the leader of this team. They're kind of finding their own stride right here now, and this is a good basketball team.
Well, they definitely are, and, you know, their 17-6 overall record speaks to that. I mean, 4 of their 6 losses are in the Federal League, which, as we know, is extremely competitive. But even beyond the league, you know, our 2 losses are great losses outside, you know, and we had some good wins as well outside of our conference and beating a number 4 Hoban. So, you know, 4 of our 6 losses, like I said, in the Fed, non-conference losses. We lost to a Massillon team. We lost to a number 3 ranked Nordonia team. So not upset about our 6 losses there. Definitely competitive games there for sure. Interestingly enough, our road record, 11-1 versus 6-5 at home. We travel a little bit better than Fitch. Fitch has a 2-8 road record, so we definitely travel a little bit better than they do. You know, one thing I looked at was common opponents. So, you know, GlenOak and Fitch both played an Alliance team. Fitch beat Alliance by 4, where GlenOak dominated Alliance by 31. So huge margin there. And then also Massillon. So a little bit of the reverse, where GlenOak did get beat by Massillon by 7, and Fitch did beat Massillon by 3. So These two teams did play head-to-head in December. GlenOak got the nod there at 49-48. But as you know, TJ, a team from December 15th or December 20th when they played is a different team come late February, come early March. So those are definitely some things to look out for there. You know, you mentioned Ja'Cory Lipkins. He's leading the Eagles at 15.4 points a game. The super sophomore Bryce Broom, 8.5 a night. Reese Zerger for GlenOak, 12.7 a night. So we're getting some good scoring. And I want to shout out Jalen McElroy, who was our Hilscher Clarke player of the game there over Lake in that contest. So it's huge to get that additional score, that fourth score on the floor for you. Now Fitch comes in. I tell you what, TJ, they're led by their senior Gianni Malley, who's he's scoring 13-4 a night. But I'll let you go ahead with the tip.
Yeah, Gianni's a tough player, and as we talked to Coach Brian Beanie earlier, he says he's one of those kids, senior, who could probably play at the next level. So we'll see what he brings to the table here, along with those freshmen. Two twin freshmen on this basketball team. Give you your starting lineups here in just a second as we are underway here on the campus of GlenOak High School. Fitch Falcons got the tip, and they're rocking and rolling, taking it to the rack, kicking it back out, swinging it around the perimeter. That's number 11 with the rock, Deshaun Vaughn. Going up underneath the basket, working against Ja'Cory Lipkins. Finally getting it on second effort was Alan Hill, one of those 6'5" freshmen that we talked about. All right, your starting lineup for the GlenOak Golden Eagles. Ja'Cory Lipkins, you see him with the rock. Ben Davis, Kenny Scott, Bryce Broom, and Reese Zerger. Your starters for the Fitch Falcons, Gianni Maley, Marcel Finkley, Alan Hill, Carter Owens, and Deshaun Vaughn. Deshaun Vaughn, a phenomenal football player for Coach TJ Parker. We'll talk about him throughout this ball game. 2-2 ball game here, 6:56 on the clock. Golden Eagles went down there, were able to get a bucket to knot this thing up. Now the Fitch Falcons kicking it around the outside of the perimeter. Going to get stolen by Bryce Broom, and we'll see what he's got. Going to take it coast to coast, looking for the foul, and he's going to go up a little too much off the iron. But Kenny Scott right there as he goes up, and he'll be fouled, and he will go to the line. Your starting lineups brought to you by the Sam Center in Massillon, serving area military. They provide over 6,000 pounds of free food every first and third Friday of the month to veteran families in need. To get involved and give back, go to servingareamilitary.org. Kenny Scott to the line. First one, no good. 6:39 on the clock, 2-2 ball game. Your first bucket scored by Reese Zerger for the GlenOak Golden Eagles. Reese Zerger, Jeff, along with Bryce Broom, these two young sophomores. Boy, I mean, they came out of the blocks hot. This is going to be a GlenOak Golden Eagle ball club that is going to be really good for the next few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
3-2 advantage, Golden Eagles. Kenny Scott's able to get the tip or get the pick. He's going to fire down to Reese Zerger, and there goes Broom. He's going to get it outside the perimeter, drive baseline, kicks it back out. That's Ben Davis. Ben back over to Ja'Cory Lipkins, who shoots a three ball. No good. 6:26 on the clock. We're rocking and rolling. Hey, hello. Shout out to everybody rocking with us on the Stark Media YouTube channel right now. Appreciate all of you tuning in to us here on the campus of GlenOak High School. TJ Downing and Jeff Tyler, we're going to be here all night for this wonderful sectional title final. Talk about some other great matchups around the area, but this one right here, this one sticks out to us. This is going to be a highly contested, highly competitive ball game, as we've seen here through the first 2 minutes. 3-2 lead for the GlenOak Golden Eagles. Falcons around the outside, Deshaun Vaughn, who's going to kind of lead the crew before he fires it back over to the senior, Gianni Maley.
Great defense early here by the Eagles.
Maley with the rock, covered down by Bryce Broom. Deshaun Vaughn shoots a three ball off the front of the iron, and Ja'Cory Lipkins will get the board. He kicks it over to Bryce Broom as Bryce Broom comes down towards baseline outside perimeter, gets it over to Reese Zerger. Reese Zerger is going to get it back out to Ja'Cory Lipkins and set it up with 5:24 on the clock. Ben Davis with the rock, gets it over to Kenny Scott. And Kenny Scott going to fire it all the way across the court to Ja'Cory Lipkins. Ja'Cory Lipkins does the same. Back over to Ben Davis. Davis, a little cross step. Gets it back over to Kenny Scott and fires it down to Ben Davis. Nice little action there offensively, but Ben Davis not able to finish. And, Jeff, you made mention of one thing. Our Hilscher Clarke electric player of the game from Tuesday night's contest against the Lake Blue Streaks, Jalen McElroy, it won't be long before we see him enter this contest.
He brings the energy off the pine defensively and on the offense, so looking forward to seeing him again.
Gianni Maley tries to drive on Broom. He fires it over the head of number 3, Marcel Finkley, but he's able to haul it in. Drives, gets it over to number 5, Alan Hill, who puts it up a little bit too strong, so it's going to stay 3-2 GlenOak advantage, 4:27 on the clock here in the first period. Broom swings it over to Ja'Cory Lipkins. Coach Rick Harrison, your GlenOak Golden Eagle basketball coach, doing a phenomenal job here this season. I know he had a bad taste in his mouth after that Green game where they were trailing by double digits in majority. Kenny Scott able to get a lay in there. They're going to make it 5-2 with 4 minutes remaining in the first period. GlenOak Golden Eagles, to trail by double digits in a Federal League Championship basketball game, to get it all the way to 1 point. There was a foul down there.
Yep.
We weren't really sure if it was a foul or not, or how you make that call.
At that
Turnover by Fitch. Broom's going to get it. He's going to go coast to coast and get it swatted out of bounds by Alan Hill. Losing like that to come all the way back to literally claw your way back, the Golden Eagles did, and drop that. That left a nasty taste in their mouth. Maybe that's something that's going to provide a pivotal run here in the tournament.
Yeah, sometimes that puts a chip on your shoulder for sure going into the tournament.
Maley, he's going coast to coast, lays it off the glass too hard, and that's going to be a rebound for Bryce Broom, and he's going to look to pressure and go back the other way in transition. Swings it down to Kenny Scott, who gets under baseline, goes under the hoop, fires it back out to Ja'Cory Lipkins, who will be on the top side of the perimeter, launches a 3-ball, a little bit too much. 28 threes on the season for Ja'Cory Lipkins. A big reason they clawed back into that game against Green in the Federal League Championship game, but he started slow, went 1 of 10 from the field, so he's going to want to pick it up here as this game rolls along. 3 minutes on the clock here in the first period. 5-2 lead for the GlenOak Golden Eagles. Sectional title on the line here this evening. Maley,
great trap.
He gets double team trapped by Kenny Scott and Ben Davis, so you get the travel, and that's going to insert Jalen McElroy. He will come in and give Ben Davis a rest. So Rick Harrison gives a little pat on the behind to Ja'Cory Lipkins, says, okay, man, time to step it up now. He's the leader of this team.
He's done a nice job of letting the offense come to him this year.
Broom, he tries to get pressure inside to the rack, and he's going to turn the ball over. Maley's going to get it, and he's going to take it all the way back down the other end, fires it over to Deshaun Vaughn, who shoots a 3-ball, no good. Rebound by Ja'Cory Lipkins, 2:32 on the clock. Jalen McElroy, they try to get the ball to him. Ja'Cory Lipkins does, but that's going to be tipped out of bounds by number 10, Carter Owens, as we see Alex Hill, the other freshman, twin brother of Alan Hill. He's going to check in, and he's going to give Carter Owens a breather.
TJ, that was one thing I was going to talk about those Hill brothers. They're, as they would say, the diaper dandies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fabulous freshmen, man.
I was just listening to the Baylor-Texas game today and got a chance to hear Dickie V. He ain't got nothing on that. On the natural.
Oh, yeah, he does. He's a legend.
2:22 on the clock, 5-2 lead for the Golden Eagles. Low-scoring affair here in the first part of this sectional final game.
Right on cue.
Right as he says it, Jalen McElroy drops a bucket in, makes it 7-2. So his impact is felt again early already. Another trap and pressure, and Coach Brian Beanie is going to call a timeout with 2:05 remaining in the first period. Jalen McElroy, our Hilscher Clarke electric player of the ball game, for his efforts against the Lake Blue Streaks that got the Golden Eagles here to this sectional final. And our friends over at Hilscher Clarke Electric Company, if you don't know, they've got locations all over Ohio. With their corporate office at 519 4th Street Northwest in downtown Canton, check out their website at www.hilscher-clarke.com. Hilscher Clarke's a local Stark County electrical contractor with more than 100 years of experience in the industrial, commercial, residential, and specialty markets. Offices, again, throughout Ohio, they have capabilities of not only handling out-of-state work, but anything from residential to EV charging hubs and stations, Generac standby units. Make sure you contact them at 330-452-9806. At the core, Hilscher Clarke lives to do first things first. That's faith, integrity, respect, selfless, and team. Team is a game that we're going to see here this evening with 1:53 on the clock. The Fitch Falcons team looking to get off of that 2 points that has been sitting there for over 5 minutes of this first period. 7-2 lead for the Golden Eagles here in the Eagles Nest. And looked like that one was going to drop in there for number 12, Mr. Hill, who just checked in, but it goes in and out. So the Golden Eagles in transition get it to Jalen McElroy, and then here goes Bryce Broom. He's going to look to take a drive against Maley, and now he's going to pull it back up, and he's going to look over to Coach Rick Harrison and get the offense dialed in. Fires it over to Jalen McElroy. McElroy swings it over to Ja'Cory Lipkins. Looks to do a little cross step in between the legs. Now he's going to pull it back over, kicks it down to number 2, up and in for Bryson Hill as he drops in his first bucket of the ball game, makes it 9-2. Not only did Bryson Hill check in while I wasn't looking and talking, also Dejon Robinson in the ball game now for the GlenOak Golden Eagles. So Hill works it down to number 12, Alex Hill, and that's going to be stolen away. Here goes Bryce Broom working it back down the other end of the court for the Golden Eagles. Jalen McElroy, he's going to take it baseline. He's going to kick it over to Hill. Check that. Yep, Bryson Hill. So he makes his impact felt with 37 seconds remaining here in the first period. He makes it an 11-2 Golden Eagle advantage. 30 seconds remain. Great substitutions here by Coach Rick Harrison. He's just got 6 points out of his first 2 subs off of the bench. And that'll be a 3 ball for number 5, Allen Hill. He's going to make it 11-5 with 10 seconds remaining. And Bryce Broom, he's going to set up. He gets a pick from Robinson. He's going to kick it down to Ja'Cory Lipkins, and Ja'Cory Lipkins will step out of bounds with 4.1 seconds remaining. And we're going to have number 10, Carter Owens, check back into the ball game for Marcel Finkley, the sophomore guard.
What you're starting to see is a little bit of Fitch's youth coming to play with this pressure that we're getting on the GlenOak's getting full court. Keep an eye on that as we go.
Bailey, 3 ball at the buzzer, no good, and we will have 1 period in the books in the sectional title game. So let's kind of plug you in here, partner.
Yeah.
And everybody out there listening and watching here on our Start Media YouTube channel, we want to shout out all of you. Appreciate you guys tuning in and rocking with us here on a beautiful Saturday night here in Northeast Ohio. All right. So it kind of feels like deja vu. The winner of this game is going to play either Massillon or Hoban.
Right.
And it was just a few months ago that we were calling a Massillon-Hoban football game
Yeah,
up at Precision Stadium. So how do you think that feeling of that, let's call it a rivalry now, because they've been meeting in the playoffs, they've been meeting in the regional finals, they've been meeting in the state semis, they met in a state championship game on the football field. There's got to be some carryover.
Oh, yeah.
Even though there's not a whole lot of Massillon football players on that team. You got Jalen Slaughter who does a little bit, but you know, there was somebody that you were really impressed with last year from Hoban when you called that game up at Solon where they would beat the Green Bulldogs. Jonah Nichols, he's a player, right?
He absolutely is. And, you know, I totally agree with you. I had that listed down here that that Massillon-Hoban game, of course, that to me, that's a secondary rival for him. We know what the big one is.
Yeah.
But that's a secondary rival for sure. Whenever you're going head-to-head, late in playoffs every year, that's what ends up happening.
So the winner to get either the 23 seed Massillon or the 4 seed Hoban, who are playing up there at Archbishop Hoban this evening. We'll keep you up to date on some scores as they come rolling in. Right here, it's the 16 seed Fitch Falcons and the 7 seed GlenOak Golden Eagles. And as we start this second period, an 11-5 lead for the GlenOak Golden Eagles in the confines of their Eagles Nest. 7:30 on the clock in the second period. Strong take by number 11, Deshaun Vaughn, as he puts the elbow into Jalen McElroy, takes it to the rack. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Fitch Falcons. I've had a chance here, partner, over the last couple years to call a Fitch game here and there, football-wise, and Sean Vaughn, he's an athlete. He's a guy that's going to have to step it up if they want to be in this ball game. As you see, number 11, Kenny Scott, gets the steal, takes it to the other end, and he will be fouled, so they will take it out inbound on the baseline. 7:25 on the clock in the second period. We'll have your finallyhereohio.com halftime show coming up at the end of the second quarter. Jeff will get you some stats. We'll talk some more hoops, what's going on around the area. McKinley Bulldogs taking on Nordonia tonight. Jackson Polar Bears got Willoughby South. Jalen McElroy a little bit too hard off the top of the glass. That ball is going to go out of bounds, and it'll be Fitch Falcon Rock with 7:05 remaining here in the first half. You know, you also see some other marquee matchups. Louisville, who's strong, they're going to take on Solon. North Canton's going to take on Walsh Jesuit. Green's going to take on Harding. The guy Duncan Moy, see what he's got for the Green
My
Bulldogs.
boy Duncan Moy.
Oh, Larry Bird out there.
Poor man's Larry Bird. Good player. Real good player.
Bucket for Marcel Finkley as he makes it only a 4-point deficit now for the Fitch Falcons. It's 11-7, GlenOak lead as Dejan Robinson went up strong, goes off the other side of the glass. Jalen McElroy went up to it and got tied up with number 5, Allen Hill. So they're going to say ball out of bounds on the Golden Eagles. Fitch will take over. 6:41 on the clock, 11-7 ball game. See some of the numbers rising up there on the YouTube channel. Appreciate everybody tuning in here to this sectional final game.
Good traps here in half court.
Bryce Broom is going to look to check back in. He gets right in front of us here on the scorer's table. Maley, covered down by Kenny Scott, gets the trap, as Jeff mentioned, by Jalen McElroy. They work through it, and down low over top of Reese Zerger is Alex Hill, the 6'5 freshman, dropping a little baby hook over top of Reese, who matches his height. We'll call if Allen Hill is listed at 6'5", Reese Zerger is all of 6'5", maybe 6'6". They're looking each other in the eye, but Coach Brian Beanie told us that these two freshmen, Allen Hill and Alex Hill, these are guys that are going to play at the next level.
Oh, there's no question about it. They're long, they're athletic, and they can play.
6 minutes on the clock here in the second period. Turnover, Kenny Scott. Ball goes to Gianni Maley. He'll slow it down, kick it outside the perimeter, and gets it to Hill. He's going to post up right at the foul line. Drops it a little too hard off the back of the iron. Ja'Cory Lipkin's able to get the rebound. He goes coast to coast, and he's going to have it swatted away from him by Hill, Allen Hill. So out of bounds. GlenOak Golden Eagle ball, baseline. They'll inbound with 5:40 remaining. 11-9 lead for the GlenOak Golden Eagles. In the ball game thus far, Allen Hill 5 points. Alex Hill 2 points. Marcel Finkley with 2 points. Kenny Scott's got 3, Reese Zerger with 2. And Jalen McElroy has a deuce as well. Timeout for Rick Harrison and his crew with 5:28 remaining here in the second period. Let's update you on the rest of our great partners here at Stark Media. And again, it always starts and is always presented by our friends at Hilscher Clarke Electric Company and the Eagles FOE 190, located in downtown Massillon at 303 Wyrick Boulevard Northwest. You can call them at 330-832-7385. If you're looking for a great banquet and event center that can hold up to 400 people, if you're looking like our guy JP and Simon Says Promotions does with your vendor and your shop markets, to be able to come in and set up and just have a great event, contact the Eagles FOE 190. Go to their website at eagles190.com. Check out all that they have to offer and all that they do giving back in the community. The Jimmy Kiefer Scholarship Fund, check it out. The Eagles FOE 190, donating over $100,000 a year to local charities. 5:18 on the clock. Nice little bucket there for Ja'Cory Lipkins as he starts to heat up a little bit, gets his first bucket of the game, has had some nice defensive rebounds, has had some nice defensive traps and pressures. As Jeff has pointed out, it makes it 13-9, GlenOak advantage. That was something I really saw from GlenOak towards the end of the season. The way defensively they pressure teams, they can force them into some turnovers.
Yeah, they really stepped their defense up, especially late in the season. And they kind of rode that all year, but they're a really good half-court trapping team.
4:48 on the clock, 13-9 lead for the Golden Eagles as the Fitch Falcons swing it around the top, and they're going to fire it all the way across the court to Carter Owens. Carter Owens able to get it down to Allen Hill. Check that, Alex Hill. And it goes back to Owens. Owens fires it all the way baseline across the court for a 3-ball for Marcel Finkley. Makes it 13-12 as the Falcons and Coach Brian Beanie, his crew, have been able to chew in to this early GlenOak lead. 4:20 on the clock. And Ja'Cory Lipkins, as he drives, will create the foul, and the ball will go back to Fitch. So first foul for the Golden Eagles. 4:19 on the clock, 13-12. Golden Eagles lead. 12 years at the helm here for Brian Beanie. He's had his teams qualify into some district tournaments throughout the years. He's a graduate of Austintown Fitch. Hill kicks it back out to Carter Owens for the 3-ball, and the Fitch Falcons take the lead 15-13 with 4 minutes remaining in the half. Ja'Cory Lipkins He has it outside the perimeter. He's going to dribble back out, fires it over to Jalen McElroy. McElroy over to Broom. Broom with a little crossover. He's going to pull it back out. Looks for Kenny Scott, gets it to him. Kenny Scott, he's going to look to possibly drive. He does. Gets it down to Ja'Cory Lipkins. Goes underneath reverse, and it won't drop in. Zerger looked to try and get the board, but it was Hill who now gets it over to Deshaun Bond. He's going to take it up hard and lays it in. 17-13 lead with 3:30 remaining in the half. Falcons on top, and there goes Reese Zerger. Nice pass by Kenny Scott as he shoots it down blindly to Reese Zerger sitting underneath there. Makes it 17-15 Fitch Falcons. 3:16 on the clock. Deshaun Vaughn fires it back over the Hill. Here's from Coach Beanie. No. Get it back over to Carter Owens. Yes, to drop in the tray ball. 20-15 lead for Fitch now. Kenny Scott takes it baseline, lays it up over two Fitch Falcon defenders, makes it 20-17.
Real good take there by Kenny Scott.
Kenny Scott with 5 points in the ball game. Deshaun Vaughn being covered down by Bryce Broom. Steps back, gets it over to Alex Hill. Alex gets it over to brother Allen Hill. Marcel Finkley tries to pump fake Reese Zerger. Stays Fitch ball, and they're going to pick the pocket. Jalen McElroy does, and now he's got the rock, and he's going to try and take it up over the big freshman, and he does. Going down to the ground, getting dirty, going up over the 6'5" Frosh. McElroy, your reigning Hilscher Clarke Electric Player of the game, makes it 20-19, Falcon advantage. Vaughn gets it over to Hill. Allen Hill swings it back over to Marcel Finkley. Finkley over to Vaughn, and there goes Carter Owens again. He's feeling it. He is feeling it. 23-19, Fitch Falcons back-to-back 3 balls for the sophomore guard, Carter Owens. 1:50 remaining here in the first half. Kenny Scott's going to look to dribble drive, feels the pressure from Finkley, lays it up over top of him and the 6'5" freshman Alex Hill for another deuce. 23-21 Falcon lead.
Wow, both teams eating up, TJ. This is getting fun.
At the end of the first quarter, we weren't sure, man. There goes Bryce Broom, steals it away from Deshaun Vaughn. He's going to look to take it up over top of him. He misses it, and Carter Owens is going to get the rebound. Might have been wise for Broom to pull that back out. Deshaun Vaughn does a little fake and goes up. No good. Reese Zerger with the rebound. So maybe he'll look for Broom to slow things down, but he loves the up-tempo. So
he loves to push
drive. He does, man. I'll tell you what, the young sophomore, the one they call Broomer. A lot of family history here on the campus of GlenOak High School. Not just at this new campus, because I never played my ball here. I coached here. I'm a 44th Street legend. 50 seconds remaining. Long 3-ball in and out for Bryce Broom, and the ball is going to go out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Golden Eagles. 23-21. Advantage Fitch Falcons with 47 seconds remaining here in the first half. Here comes the big fella, number 50.
Cam Yaros.
Cam Yaros, the 6'5". We're going to call him at least 270, 275.
Like a samurai warrior or something, man.
Looks like he should have been wrestling up at
Looks like
he should have been in sectionals of a Fitch today for wrestling. So we'll see what big man number 50 brings to the table here in the final 45 seconds for Coach Beanie and his squad. Ja'Cory Lipkins, he's going to pull it back. As we know, no shot clock in high school basketball, so the Golden Eagles can work this clock, massage it all the way down, and potentially either tie this thing up for the half or take the lead. They're trailing by 2, 23-21. And that's what he's going to do. Rick Harrison barking out some comments to his guys. Kenny Scott, he's going to come back up to the top. Opposite court of Ja'Cory Lipkins. He's going to look to Couture Ashcraft for the pick. He does, gets the screen, works off of it. Now he fires it over to Kenny Scott. Kenny Scott gets it intercepted. Deshaun Bond, a la his time, that was Gianni Maley, and there goes a long 3-ball to end the first half, and no good. It'll stay 23-21 as we head to the final here, Ohio.com halftime show. Boy, I'll tell you what, partner. Some fast-paced action there as we got into the second period. Low-scoring affair in the first period. We head to the halftime or head to intermission here. 23-21, Fitch Falcon lead. But you know what? We knew that this was going to be tightly contested. We knew that these are two very good basketball teams heating up at the right time. And the one thing that I kind of point to, since we know that Fitch had the bye, their last game of the regular season, the last game that they played before they stepped out here today was against the Alliance Aviators, and that's a really good basketball team. If you haven't seen Kayvon Davis, who led all scorers last night with 29 points, if you haven't seen Diego Allen, who goes about 6'7", 6'8", is thick, is a very big-bodied, physical, agile player for Coach John Witherspoon. That's a really good Alliance basketball team. As you mentioned in the open, for the Golden Eagles to kind of get smoked by the Aviators, I believe it was a 30-point ball game.
Yeah, right.
And for Fitch to get a 4-point win over them, kind of take something away there, thinking, even though this is a Fitch team that's only one game above 500, you don't want to mess around with them.
No, not at all. They're long. They are young, but I know what you know this, TJ. They're starting 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and those sophomores and freshmen from December are different come this time of year. And you don't know what you're going to get when you got young guys like that, right? You may have guys that step up that you're not expecting. I mean, they're hitting the 3 ball on us now. I mean, GlenOak was doing a good job there for a while. Fitch shot 22% in the first quarter, but they were 66% 2 of 3 from 3 ball. But then the second quarter, they were 4 or 5 from the 3 ball to not only get them back in that game, but in this game, but also take the lead there at half.
Carter Owens, boy, Carter Owens, he found the trigger and he wasn't afraid to pull it. There were some times where you see a sophomore. Are they feeling it? Do they feel comfortable and confident enough? And does it come down from the coach? Like, hey, when you see it, that's your shot, shoot it. Right?
1,000%.
Carter Owens, he's not playing around, man. This is a guy that the Golden Eagles are going to have to keep their eye on in the second half.
And that's what makes it tough because, he comes in, he's a guy scoring 10 points a night. He's got 9 already. He's on fire from 3. And like I said, that's not a guy that you expect him to be the leader of the team. So now we're going to have to adjust to that and maybe overplay that. That could leave some things open underneath for the Twin Towers down there.
I don't believe that we've seen a made 3 ball from the GlenOak Golden Eagles in this first half.
No,
they shoot 30% throughout the season. They average about 4 of them a ball game, but between Ja'Cory Lipkins and Bryce Broom has 29,
Yep.
Lipkins has 28. That's something that you're going to want to if you're going to fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Then the Golden Eagles are going to have to step up and launch that 3 ball as well.
Yeah, and like you mentioned with Broom pushing it, GlenOak traditionally gets the ball, gets it going, gets it down the floor as quick as they can to get into their transition to get some quick scores. They're not an amazing half-court team, and sometimes they struggle getting that shot off, especially from 3. Now, they've done a good job interior-wise getting the ball inside. Surprisingly, even against the 2 6'5" footers in there, done a good job interior scoring. But I agree with you, TJ. They're gonna have to figure out, how to maybe hit some from the perimeter. But defensively, they've got to figure out how to stop them from hitting the 3s as well. Just an early look. They've got really, really good spacing with Fitch. They got the 2 big guys down below, and that, they do that high-low, in-out passing action. It makes it difficult to defend, especially when you got guys outside shooting 80% that you didn't expect to do so.
We had a chance to talk a little bit here in the first half about Massillon and Hoban. The winner of this ball game will get the winner of that one, but these other matchups that we're going to see here this evening for sectional titles: McKinley facing Nordonia, Jackson facing Willoughby South, Green taking on Harding, Louisville Solon, North Canton and Walsh Jesuit. What kind of sticks out to you there from those ball games? I know we kind of joked around about our poor man's Larry Bird, Duncan Moy, but the Green Bulldogs are a good basketball team. They're well coached by Mark Kinsley. When Nico Bundalo gets into the ballgame, he doesn't start.
Yep.
He's a sophomore, but he's physical.
Yep.
He can shoot. He can dribble. He's an all-around really, really good athlete for a big man. It can be a scary Green basketball team. And the X factor to me has always been Brady Rollison.
Without question. He's the big 6'9" kid, right?
Bundalo, yep.
Yeah, freshman, right?
And Rollison's going to be heading to play baseball at Ohio State next year.
Really?
Yep.
Very cool. Yeah, Green is one of those teams that kind of like the Fitch team, that they've got some young guys that can step up. I saw Green play on their home court against Jackson, and they looked absolutely amazing. They were hitting a 3 ball. The freshman looked amazing. He's getting recruited by everybody. I think Indiana wants him pretty bad. So there's a lot of good players. There's a lot of good teams just in this bracket alone. And I mentioned some of them even played each other already GlenOak played Fitch earlier in the season. Massillon we played Camp McKinley, and Nordornia as well. So Nordornia was one of GlenOak's non-conference losses. So it's a really, really good bracket, and a lot of them have seen each other already. So it adds some good parity to it for sure.
Now, the Aviator basketball team that we talked about from last evening, had a chance to get some eyeballs on them last night. Coach Sean Witherspoon does a phenomenal job, well connected with the kids, taking over for a legend and Coach Kura, who recently retired last year. Just a phenomenal hire to get Coach Witherspoon in there, and I believe a lot of that had to do with a guy who has since passed away. We want to always make sure we're keeping in our thoughts, minds, prayers, and our hearts a guy by the name of Lenny Reich, who is just an absolute legend in the Mount Union community, a longtime SID, one of the best in the country. His daughter is a soccer player there at Alliance, and Lenny had stepped away from Mount Union, went over there to Alliance, became their athletic director, recently lost his battle with cancer, but he was integral in bringing Coach Sean Witherspoon in there. Huge hire. Man, there's some talent on that team. They're going to take on Youngstown Cheney on March 2nd. Now, for those that don't know the basketball that comes out of Youngstown area and that comes out of Cheney, I mean, that's not going to be easy.
Yeah. Athletes all over the place, and
sure.
you're seeing this even with this Fitch team. They're young, they're athletic as heck. You spoke to the athleticism of Alliance. We saw that on the gridiron this year, calling several of their games. They got a ton of athletes across the board. So, whenever you go from, there's just such a difference, as going from a regular season game to a winner go home scenario.
Different, man.
It is way, way different. And you don't know who's going to step up. You don't know who's going to have a good night. It comes down to some coaching. Right now, who's going to make the adjustment? What adjustment is Coach Hairston going to make? What adjustment is Beanie going to make? Who knows?
Can you keep your guys loose while doing that, because you're trailing now. The Golden Eagles are 23-21. What's the conversation like in the locker room at the half? And can you get the message across while allowing your young sophomores, like a Bryce Broom, and a Reese Zerger, to stay calm, to stay loose? I get it, win or go home, but you know what? It's what's the old Hoosiers mentality, right? The basketball, the measurements from top to bottom, it's still the same. It's just basketball.
Right.
Go out and play the game that you know how to play and that you love.
Well, Coach Hairston is calm and cool and chill as it comes, right? He knows his players. He knows his personnel. So I would say that his conversation in there is directed in a way that he knows his personnel can respond to it, right? You talk about Indiana. Bobby Knight yelled all the time. So whenever he yelled at halftime, people blanked him out. A guy like Hairston, if he does raise his voice, everybody pays attention. But Hairston knows, he's been around the game a long time. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. This is not new to him. But like you said, with the young guy, with Broom, I think he's going to be a catalyst for us, for him to, if he goes quick, go quick, about go slow, if that makes sense. He wants to push. But he's got to make sure he's got his guys. He's got to make sure he's got some outlets, guys filling the lane. Maybe if Broom's going to push that way, we might see some guys flare out to the wing and get some three balls happening here, which they're going to definitely need.
Got to get the three ball dialed in. Hey, speaking of Austintown, Fitch, they hosted today the Division I sectional wrestling tournament. We want to give a shout out to our guy, Colton Arnold, who set the pin record for Jackson High School, and I believe the Stark County record as well at 36 pins. He's now 45-4 on the year, and I put some stuff on our social media that it's an absolutely brutal district to come out of if you're a heavyweight. You've got basically the top four in the state. Aaron Reese over at Wadsworth, Colton Arnold over at Jackson, Aiden Fockler, who's the number one heavyweight in the state, coming out of Perry, and the young man I'm drawing a blank on his name. I believe he's called Shaq out of Barberton. I mean, just a grinder to come out of there, But for Colton, I know a proud daddy, part of our Stark Media crew, Tim Arnold, sending us some stuff over there. And hey, when you set a record, man, it's always good.
And whose fantasy team was he on with Stark Media? Jeff Tyler swooped him up quick.
I love it.
Grown man. Well, you had him on the offense. I took him on defense.
We definitely spread the love on that young man because he's a player. And he's doing his thing here out on the wrestling mat. And we'll be down there at the shop. We'll be over there at Hoover for districts next week. We'll be down there at the shop working alongside our friends at the OHSAA. And as we get things rocking and rolling here for the second half, with 7:42 on the clock here in the third period, 23-21 lead for the visiting Fitch Falcons. Winner to face either Massillon or Hoban. We'll see if we can continue to get some score updates on what's going on over there. Hey, shout out to the Mount Union Purple Raiders today. They won the OAC championship, beating Marietta 95-80, so they get the automatic bid into the tournament. That's a heck of a ball team out there. Hey, tell us about the Walsh Cavaliers, man. You got a chance to call both of those girls and boys games.
I did the math, dude, brother. I called 25 of their games this year. They're going into the GMAC tournament, both men's and women's on Tuesday. Women are going to have to play well, which they can. The men, I believe, can go deep. I believe they can win the GMAC and go deep.
Coast-to-coast miss for Hill. It's going to go back to the Golden Eagles as Ja'Cory Lipkins takes it up to the rack hard. He's fouled. He'll go to the line. 7:21 on the clock. Golden Eagles trailing by 2. Out there on the court for the Golden Eagles, Bryce Broom, Kenny Scott, Ja'Cory Lipkins, Reese Zerger, and Ben Davis, your original starting 5 for the Fitch Falcons and Coach Brian Beanie, Johnny Maley, Deshaun Vaughn, Carter Owens, who got hot to end that first half, Marcel Finkley, and the freshman 6'5" forward, Alan Hill. First one, no good for Ja'Cory Lipkins. He'll shoot the second and drop it in. Makes it 23-22 Fitch lead. I'll tell you, one of the most impressive things I saw about Ja'Cory Lipkins, after that green game for the Federal League Championship, he was so disappointed in his shooting. He was out there shooting buckets after. How cool was that?
I knew exactly what you were talking about. He didn't even take time to barely change his clothes, and he was out here shooting.
He changed his clothes, and he was out here shooting. That was it, man. 7 minutes on the clock, 1 point lead for the Falcons. Too much off the iron for Marcel Finkley. So Kenny Scott gets the board. He's going to transition, go behind the back, gets it over to Ben Davis, who takes it up hard, gets it over to Reese Zerger, and Reese Zerger not enough as he lays it up too lightly. And the Falcons will get the ball as Gianni Maley gets it across midcourt. 6:40 on the clock. Maley, he's going to take it up over 3 Golden Eagle defenders. They're going to get Ben Davis on the foul. Bryce Broom and Reese Zerger also there. So your leading scorer in the ball game is Carter Owens with 9 for the Fitch Falcons. For the GlenOak Golden Eagles on the court, it's Kenny Scott with 7. 6:38 on the clock. First one, no good for Gianni Maley. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at FinallyHearOhio.com who present our halftime show. Make sure you contact Chris McCready's and his team. They have over 30 years of experience, and if you or someone you know struggles with hearing, go to their website at FinallyHearOhio.com and get a free hearing evaluation. Call them at 492-1212 or stop down and see them at 1201 30th Street Northwest in Canton. Tell them the Start Media team sent you. Another proud polar bear, Chris McCready's. His son, Dane McCready's, had a heck of a year on the gridiron. Keep our eye on him as track season rolls around. Partner, we're already getting close to spring sports.
Incredible. It feels like spring around here already.
I'll take it. Better than that cold stuff we had the other day. 24-22 lead for the Fitch Falcons. TJ Downing, Jeff Tyler, the natural, bringing it to you here for this sectional title game as Ja'Cory Lipkins takes it up but loses it off of his right hand. So goes off the glass, doesn't hit rim. Gianni Maley goes the other way, and he puts it up too hard off the glass, and Reese Zerger will take it in transition, gets it over to Ja'Cory Lipkins. He goes up, gets it back to Zerger, and Lipkins will not be able to control it as it goes out of bounds, and the Golden Eagles will turn it back over to the Falcons, leading 24-22 here in the third period with 5:50 on the clock. Appreciate everybody tuning in to us here on the Start Media YouTube channel for this sectional title game. Hey, we got the one we know is Sweet Pete Feed in attendance here, the GlenOak Golden Eagle, your son.
He declined to come.
I was about ready to. He knew his dad was going to be rocking the microphone. He didn't even show up.
Maybe he's home listening. I don't know.
Maybe he's hanging out with Cale Miller over there at Get 6 training, getting some extra reps in. Off the glass too hard, up and again, off the glass too hard for Alan Hill. So on second effort, he'll go to the line to shoot. 5:25 on the clock, third period.
You know what's cool, TJ? You brought up Walsh. The amount of local kids and Ohio kids on that squad, to see them go deep. You've got Kiesler and Odo from Green. You've got some McKinley players on the girls squad, some local kids all over the place. So it's pretty cool to see.
How about Kylie Derlin, the game she had the other night? She led all scorers.
Derlin from GlenOak, pour it up. She's averaging about 9 a night.
She had, I
And
believe,
she
what,
had
24?
she had 24.
Whew.
Had she made her few foul shots, she could have made a run at the scoring record.
Still 24-22 here. Golden Eagles trailing the Austintown Fitch Falcons. Coach Rick Harrison and Coach Brian Beatty battling it out here for a sectional title and an opportunity to face either Hoban or Maslin. Then we'll check in here on some scores, see if we get anything popping through.
Needed that 3 ball. Didn't go.
.458 on the clock here in the third period.
Trying to set Jacory up, and he's just cold.
So they try to get the ball in there. Marcel Finkley does to Gianni Maley. It's going to go a little bit too hard to Maley. It goes off his foot out of bounds. So Kenny Scott will inbound to Bryce Broom as the Golden Eagles look to get this thing squared back up. Kenny Scott, he's going to do a double crossover, take it to the rack, and he will turn the ball over to Carter Owens. And Carter Owens gets it to Deshaun Vaughn, who gets undercut by Bryce Broom. So Vaughn will draw the foul. Nice crowd has started to trickle in here. We're getting a good ball game for this sectional title. GlenOak student section. The Eagles nest over there, holding it down for the student body. Deshaun Vaughn goes between the legs, tries to spin around on Broom, and great defense by Broom. Falcons wanted a foul, but Broom, he's going to take it back the other way, and there goes Jalen McElroy. 3-ball, and it's good. Golden Eagles retake the lead, 25-24, with 4 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the third period.
Needed that.
100%. Sneaking in there, trying to get that ball away as Vaughn tried to get it over to Finkley was Kenny Scott. We've talked about this pressure defense by the Golden Eagles. They use it right there, but nobody's able to secure the ball, so it goes out of bounds, and the Falcons right in front of us here on the scorer's table will inbound. They get it to Gianni Maley. 4 minutes remaining here in the third period. Maley, strong take to the rack over top of Jalen McElroy. Good defense, and they're going to say that it was off of McElroy or maybe off of Dejan Robinson. Nonetheless, ball will stay with the Fitch Falcons.
I'd like the no call there, TJ. Back-to-back, good defensive players.
Yep. Not from the guys to the left.
No, they're not liking it to our left. But I agree with the call.
I do too. Would have liked to see that in that Federal League Championship game.
Don't remind me.
With 0.8 seconds remaining.
For first place. First place, you can call that. What are you going to do?
Can't leave it in the officials' hands. Can't trail by more than 10 points all game. Yeah, certain things you got to do is we see Deshaun Vaughn and Bryce Broom right in front of us here, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Broom. Looked like he was able to slide his feet, but Deshaun Vaughn goes down to the ground, and we will get an inbound from Marcel Finkley with 3:46 remaining here in the third period. 25-24 lead for the Golden Eagles as Jalen McElroy tried to sneak in there on Gianni Maley. Maley able to secure it, goes between the legs, gets a screen from Hill. Finkley from the top of the key, too hard off the back of the iron, and McElroy gets the rock on the rebound, pushing in transition, keeping his feet going up. No good, but Dejan Robinson right there for his partner and lays it in off the miss by McElroy. Makes it 27-24 Golden Eagle lead. 3:14 remaining here in the first half. Got to give a special shout out to long-time GlenOak basketball coach, ladies basketball coach, and legendary ladies basketball player, Heather Phillips, here in attendance today. Came over, gave me a big hug before the game started. Graduated with her sister Tiffany, and Heather was just a phenomenal player here at GlenOak. So shout out to her. She's a teacher here at the Oaks now. Always good to come back to the alma mater. Check in, 2:55 on the clock. We will see, checking in, Bryson Hill for the Golden Eagles. Finkley's going to check out for the Falcons and insert Alex Hill. 27-24 lead. Jacory Lipkins driving, gets it over to Bryson Hill, who gets it stolen away from him by Carter Owens.
Letting them play for sure.
Deshaun Vaughn will go back the other way, takes it up, and it's good. We'll see. That goes on Robinson. So the 3-point play coming up here for Vaughn, who makes it 27-26 before the foul. We'll see if he can square this thing up. That gives Vaughn 4 points in the ball game. Still 9 points for Carter Owens, kind of cooled off after those three balls to end the first half. 5 points for Allen Hill.
Ooh.
For Alex Hill, he's got 2, and 1 point for Gianni Maley, and the ball off the miss will stay with the Fitch Falcons as Reese Zerger checks in for Dejon Robinson. 2:39 remaining here in the third period. 7 points apiece for Kenny Scott and Jalen McElroy. 3 points for Ja'Cory Lipkins. Reese Zerger with 4. They got to get Ja'Cory Lipkins going. Great block. Ja'Cory Lipkins gets it up to Jalen McElroy, who gets it punched away by Gianni Maley, so that will stay Golden Eagle basketball.
Whatever the Eagles do, they've got to keep McElroy on the floor for sure.
Yes, he is the key. You know, that was the first thing that I think Lee and Sam pointed out the other day before that late game. Oh, Bryson Hill goes up strong, and he will be fouled. So that's going to go against Carter Owens. That'll be his second foul of the ball game. Bryson Hill goes to the line.
You know, one thing to pay attention to, and we get to see a lot of things being right here. Zerger got pulled out of the game, and he looked at Coach and said, me? Like he was questioning because he started feeling the pressure there a little bit. Hopefully Coach sees that and wants to get him back in the game. Get a kid that good, that eager, wanting to be on the floor, you got to punch him back in there.
Hungry, especially in a sectional title game. You need that on the court. 28-26 lead for the Golden Eagles, shooting 68% from the line this season. That one, no good. I don't think that even hit. Did that barely hit the iron off the front?
I think it caught it, but it was barely.
2:28 remaining here in the third period.
Glad to see them go back to full court here.
Sean Vaughn gets it up and goes down hard right in front of his bench. And he gets up. He's not happy with Kenny Scott. Has a couple words for him. Deshaun, a fiery competitor, man.
You played against some guys from Youngstown. There's some fire over there.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. Passionate crew. Tell you what, when I coached at GlenOak on the football team back in 2011, 2012, we went up and had some battles with the Fitch Falcons. They were a tough club. A lot of talent coming out of Fitch. 28-26 lead for the Golden Eagles. 2 minutes remaining here. Ja'Cory Lipkins, ball.
Boom.
Makes it 31-26. Just talked about having to get him going. That gives him 6 in the ball game. Gives the Golden Eagles a 5-point advantage with under 2 to go. Kenny Scott looks for the steal. No good. Gianni Maley. He'll have the rock. Out up top. Covered down by Jalen McElroy. He swings it over to Allen Hill. Hill back over to Deshaun Vaughn. Vaughn over to Maley. Carter Owens looking for that 3 ball again. No good. But a nice rebound off the glass for number 5, Allen Hill. The pair of freshman twins at 6'5", Allen Hill and Alex Hill, have had a big impact in this ball game. They make it 31-28 Golden Eagle lead. Chewing into it. There goes Ja'Cory Lipkins. A little too hard off the back of the iron. And there is Alex Hill with the rebound. He gets it over to Deshaun Vaughn. Minute to go here in the third period. We got a banger on our hands here for the sectional title. Oh, Kenny Scott goes for the pick. 11-on-11, Deshaun Vaughn. He tries to trickle it down to Allen Hill. And Carter Owens from the side, he misses his second consecutive 3 ball. And they were looking for the over the back there. And you're going to get it. You're going to see Alex Hill get his first foul of the game. And here comes the big fella we talked about earlier, Ken Yaros. He'll give Carter Owens, he gets a break. Also, Allen Hill, he gets a break. So here's another fella here that just checked in. Marcel Finkley checks back into the ball game for the Falcons. Under 50 seconds to go here in the third period of the sectional title game on the campus of GlenOak High School. 31-28 lead for the Golden Eagles. TJ Downing, Jeff the Natural Tyler, happy to be with you here on your Saturday evening. Broom looking over Coach Rick Harrison as they set up the offense, and they're going to play for this last shot. Scoreless in the ball game is Bryce Broom.
If you tell us,
rarely do you see that.
If you tell me we got a 3-point lead here at the end of the third with him, or 5, I'll take it with him not scoring.
We'll see what Bryce Broom decides to do here, if he dishes it off or if he's going to want to take it. 9 seconds remain. Here we go. 7, 6. Here comes the action. Broom from the baseline goes up. No good, but he will get fouled. To the line he goes. We have 5 team fouls for the Fitch Falcons, 16 fouls for the Golden Eagles. So Broom looks to get that 0 off the board. He does. His first bucket of the game, or his first point of the game, makes it 32-28 Golden Eagles with 4.7 seconds remaining. Shout out to everybody rocking with us here tonight on the Stark Media YouTube channel. As we come down the home stretch here, one more period remains for a sectional championship. Broom connects on the second, makes it 33-28. And almost out of bounds on Maley as Finkley tried to get it into him, but they're going to say that went off of Jalen McElroy. So that makes it 3.8 seconds remaining here in the third period. Here we go. Gianni Maley. We'll see what he's got. He's across the timeline. He's going to look to go up and doesn't get it off. So it stays 33-28. GlenOak lead as we head to the final period of this sectional final game. This one is going to be exciting, partner.
It's getting real exciting. Just looking at the pace of play and where it was after that second quarter, we've done a good job of slowing them down. And if I'm Coach Harrison, I think that I would continue to play physical with them. They don't seem like they're liking the physical play, for one, and also the coaches are getting a little bit frustrated as well. So when you've got a team frustrated with contact, and you've got a coach maybe a little bit frustrated as well, you've got to stay active. You got to stay aggressive. And I would suspect that Coach Harrison's going to come out in a full court pressure here and keep that up here in this final quarter.
Hey, anybody hungry out there? If you want to know where the best pizza is, contact our guy John Lindsay over at Lindsay's Pizza. Call him at 330-477-3800. Located inside the Hillsdale Shopping Center at 2827 Whipple Avenue in Canton. Order online at lindsays.pizza.com. They're open till 11. Pizza, chicken, subs, salads, and calzones. The preferred post-game pizza of the Stark Media team and the perfect game day food. If you're looking for dinner tonight, it's only 7:45. You got 3 hours to get it in. Contact our guy, John Lindsay at Lindsay's Pizza. Deshaun Vaughn, he airballs a 3 as we start the fourth period. And Jalen McElroy, he's going to look to go coast to coast. He's going to have it blocked by Finkley, and it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Golden Eagles. Also, as the Reese Serger puts up a 3 ball there, Deshaun Vaughn. Also want to give a shout out to some of our other partners here, C.H. Vallis and Associates and McNeil & Sons Tree Service. We'll talk about them more before the end of this ball game. Marcel Finkley kicks it back out to Gianni Maley. Falcons trailing the Golden Eagles by 5, 7:28 on the clock. Jalen McElroy provides pressure on Marcel Finkley. No foul. That's what Ricky Bobby calls rubbing is racing, right? They still want that foul over there on the Falcon bench. Carter Owens, he looks to do a spin move on Ja'Cory Lipkins, and 3-ball attempt for Marcel Finkley. No good. Ja'Cory Lipkins gets the rebound. Under 7 to go here in the fourth period, and Ja'Cory takes it up hard to the rack, but he will be swatted out of bounds by the big freshman, Allen Hill. I'll tell you what, Allen Hill and Alex Hill for just freshmen. You talk about chopping trees, man. These dudes, by their senior year.
If I'm Coach J.Y. at Walsh, I am knocking on their door tomorrow.
Yeah. Scholarship offer already.
Package deal.
Full scholarships. 33-28. Golden Eagles lead. Ja'Cory Lipkins gets the pass from Broom. Lipkins over to McElroy, and he takes it up to the rack. He'll be fouled by Carter Owens. You see the officials. You can see that coming through the camera. Coach Brian Beanie, he's like, hey, come on, man. You're blowing the whistle on their end, but we're not getting any on our end. And hey, listen, one thing that we know about officials, all we ever ask for is be consistent.
Yep, exactly. I talked about that ad nauseum in that Walsh game the other night.
34-28 after Jalen McElroy knocks down his first. 6:34 remaining in the ball game. connects on the second, makes it 35-28 Golden Eagle lead. As the Falcons call a timeout. So timeout situation, you got 3 remaining for the Falcons. Golden Eagles still have all 4 of theirs remaining. And as we transition over here to some of our partners, the McNeil & Sons Tree Service guys located up at the Portage Lakes area, they were just over at our buddy Drew Serackman's house the other day, quoting them on some trees.
Yeah.
And, it's that time of year as we get out of the winter time, get into the spring, and those arbors getting a little bit too close to your home or auto. Make sure you call our friends at McNeil & Sons Tree Service. They're fast, reliable, and affordable. They'll leave your property in better shape than it was before. Don't let those trees that are out of reach get too close. Contact the professionals at McNeil & Sons and ask for Tom at 330-606-1126. Get a free quote, and they'll consult you on your tree health and help your property maintain its integrity. 6:30 remaining here in the 4th period at the home of the Golden Eagles. TJ Downing, Jeff Tyler, rocking with you here on the Stark Media YouTube channel. Saturday evening sectional title hoops as Deshaun Vaughn lays one off the glass, makes it 35-30. Fitch trailing by 5 as they intercept the pass at half court. And Gianni Maley will look to transition it. 6 minutes on the clock. Goes between the legs, trying to take Broom to the rack. And you're going to get another blocking foul on Bryce Broom. That makes it 3 for him. 2 points in the ball game, 3 fouls, and he's going to take a seat. Here comes Kenny Scott for him.
Coach Hairston saw the frustration on Broom there, got him out of the game, give him a breather, let him relax. I'm sure he's telling him right now, look, kid, we got a 5-point lead, 6 minutes left. Keep moving your feet, stay in front of them, we'll be fine.
Just a sophomore.
Honestly, I thought he should have ran point last year.
No good by Gianni Maley, and Corey Lipkins will take it up, and he draws a blocking foul.
I think he traveled.
Oh, they're going to say that was a charge on Ja'Cory Lipkins. So that ball will go back to the Falcons.
I smell a technical coming here real soon from one of these benches. I'm just, reading the room, bro.
I think you're right. I think your senses are right. This official down here and the Falcons, they've got locked eyes on each other. Something's going to go down here with 5:43 remaining. Golden Eagles hoping that something goes down for them in the form of a sectional title and advancing to play either Hoban or Massillon. 5 points separate these two teams. The 7-seed GlenOak Golden Eagles and the 16-seed Fitch Falcons. GlenOak leading 35-30. 5:25 on the clock in the 4th period. Kenny Scott dishes off to Reese Serger, who lays it in and makes it a 7-point ball game. Golden Eagle advantage. Marcel Finkley gets it stolen away by Kenny Scott. There goes Ja'Cory Lipkins. He's going to take it up and lays it off the glass.
Ooh.
No good, but he'll head to the line. So both teams now in the bonus. 18 fouls for the Golden Eagles, 7 for the Fitch Falcons. That one is going to go against Alan Hill. That'll be his second. On the court now, Carter Owens has 3 fouls for the Golden Eagles. 2 on Ja'Cory Lipkins, 2 on Kenny Scott, as Ja'Cory knocks down his first, makes it 38-30 with 5:09 remaining.
Both teams in bonus right now. That could be key going down a stretch.
Golden Eagles and Coach Rick Harrison with all of his timeouts remaining, as the Golden Eagles making a 9-point advantage, 39-30.
I like the fact we're staying in this full pressure.
Yeah.
We mentioned that before the start of the quarter.
Gianni Maley feeling a little bit of pressure from Bryson Hill, but he backs off. So Gianni's going to look to take it, dishes it out to Marcel Finkley, who puts up a 3 ball, no good. He gets his own rebound, no, off of a tip from his partner, Alan Hill, and it'll be 39-32 Golden Eagle lead after the Finkley bucket. They're looking to trap and pressure, and they are able to steal it away from Ja'Cory Lipkins, but now Reese Serger going to dive on the ground with Hill, and you're going to get it tied up. Possession arrow is advantage Golden Eagles. 4:40 remaining. Bryson Hill underneath, goes up, draws the foul, and he'll go to the line. Yeah, we are positioned right next to the Fitch Falcon bench, and if you catch a little bit of that ambient noise, that atmosphere coming through.
Wasn't me.
That was wait, what? Any call for us? First bucket good for Bryson Hill. That's his 6th point of the ball game. 8 points for Ja'Cory Lipkins. 9 points for Jalen McElroy. 6 for Reese Zerger, and Couture Ashcraft has entered into the game. It goes up for a big board. Couldn't pull it down. He's scoreless in the ball game. Talk about another guy, multi-sport athlete, Couture Ashcraft. Solid wide receiver for Coach Scott Garcia and his football team. As you see him down there to our right, want to give him a special shout out. Always puts us in the driver's seat here. He should. I coached for him.
Oh, yeah.
And I played for him.
I've been involved in the program.
Scott Garcia does a phenomenal job here. Everybody knows that. Jalen McElroy goes up, lays it off too hard, but Reese Zerger, tip drill, drops it in, makes it a 10-point ball game. 42-32 Golden Eagles with 4:22 remaining. And again, you see it, still rocking that pressure.
Yep,
up 10 in a sectional title game. And Ashcraft and Jalen McElroy trapping, and McElroy couldn't keep his feet. He saw.
That'd be 10 seconds.
He saw what we call in the football world green grass and opportunities. And your eyes just get a little bit too big seeing that hoop there. He goes down. Ball will stay with the GlenOak Golden Eagles. Kenny Scott will inbound.
I think the officials forgot about the 10-second count there. Seemed a little lengthy.
Allen Hill will check out. Alex Hill, brother, checks back in. Here, 6'5", freshman. Inbound to Couture Ashcraft as he bumps mainly off of him, goes up a little bit too hard, gets his own rebound, not able to put it back in as Kenny Scott trying to flex up on the 6'5" freshman. Pulls the ball away, but that is going to stay with the Falcons as possession arrow was with them. It'll go back to the Golden Eagles now, so we'll see how that works out. Key coming down the stretch here. 3:50 on the clock, 10-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Nice block by Reese Zerger. Jalen McElroy with the rebound. In transition finds Kenny Scott. He's going up to the rack, lays it in over top of Carter Owens. 12-point ball game. Golden Eagle advantage. 44-32 with 3:30 remaining. They're getting excited here and playing local.
Smelling blood in the water here in GlenOak.
Ooh, when you see that, that's when the Sharks come out. 10 team fouls here on the Golden Eagles. 3 fouls for Ja'Cory Lipkins. 2 fouls on Kenny Scott. Jalen McElroy and also Kenny Scott, your leading scorers for the Golden Eagles. 9 points apiece, 8 points apiece for Reese Zerger and Ja'Cory Lipkins. Carter Owens, kind of the key, if you ask me, here from the second half, has not been able to get off that 9 spot that he put up to give the lead to the Falcons at the half. 3:20 remaining, 44-33, Golden Eagles leading. Tonight's broadcast on the Stark Media YouTube channel, brought to you in part by C.H. Vallis & Associates, Lindsay's Pizza, McNeil & Sons Tree Service, FinallyHereOhio.com, Spirit of Stark, Leathernecks Nation MC, the Sam Center, Save22.vet, and always presented by our friends at Hilscher Clarke Electric Company and the Eagles FOE 190. 3:18 remaining here in the fourth period, 45-33 lead for the GlenOak Golden Eagles. Kenny Scott at the line. Becomes your first double-digit scorer in this ball game. Had 10 off the first make, makes it 11 on the second from the charity stripe. So Coach Beatty and the Falcons got their work cut out for him here. Nice shot attempt by Deshaun Vaughn off the dribble. Step back, no good. 2:58 remaining here in the ball game. 46-33. Golden Eagles on top as Kenny Scott tries to take it to the rack, and a nice tip off of Couture Ashcraft finds the ball into the hands of Jalen McElroy as he tries to spin away from Marcel Finkley, and Coach Rick Harrison will burn a timeout.
Again, McElroy in the game, just in the right place at the right time there to pick up that loose ball.
So we talked about a lopsided loss for GlenOak to Alliance. How about the lopsided loss that Fitch took to Louisville? That was a 70-36 ball game back on December 13th. You know, the Falcons, although they beat Alliance in their final regular season of the game, the last time they stepped on the court because they had to bye, they didn't end the season the way they wanted to. They dropped 3 out of 4. They were able to beat Canfield, but they lost to a poor man's Larry Bird, Duncan Boy. They lose to North Royalton and lose to McDowell out of Erie, PA. Got to give a special shout out to one of my former offensive guards who came out of McDowell, Kyle Mitchum. So not the way you want to end the season, but 7-7, 500 since January 1st, and having the lead to start this second half just hasn't gone the way the Falcons and Coach Beatty would have liked it here, trailing 46-33 with 2:40 remaining in the ball game. Broom covered down by number 2, Kendall Ziegler. Haven't seen a whole lot of Ziegler. As Coach mentioned, Cam Yaros, Alex Hill, Kendall Ziegler, kind of your bench guys that will play a role as Jalen McElroy tries to lay it up underneath the 6'5 freshman, gets his own ball, gets his own rebound, draws the foul, and he's going to go to the line.
There's something to be said for energy, TJ.
Jalen's got to be. You see anytime he gets the ball on the opposite end of the court, he wants to move, push, and go. Very athletic, very fast, has great ball skills. This is a great basketball player for Coach Rick Harrison and this GlenOak club. Surprising that he's actually coming off the bench.
It's going to be fun to watch him play some football this year too. At that receiver spot, the Burt brothers in that QB backfield.
Throw our guy Sweet Pete Feet in the deal. Throw him into the mix. We might have a spread attack here. I see Coach Garcia laughing down there. He's thinking, wait, you guys really think I'm going to go away from running power and counter and pulling guards? You're crazy. When you got weapons like that, Coach Rennie Wilson, if you're listening right now, when you got the weapons, let the boys eat. Jalen McElroy on key, steals the ball away, leading 47-33, goes up and lays it in.
Boom.
Sweet kiss off the glass. It's 49-33 with 2 minutes remaining here in Plain Local. Golden Eagles smelling a sectional title. Off the glass, Jalen McElroy goes up and snags that thing midair, gets it over to Kenny Scott. He goes up and tries to lay it off just like Jalen McElroy did. No good, not enough, and you'll see in transition here now the Fitch Falcon, who has just entered the ballgame for the first time here, number 14, Johnny Ruggles, a 6'2 senior. So I think Coach Beatty has now come to the conclusion that you're probably this one's going to get away from here. You're trailing 49-33, under 2 minutes to go. Let's get some of these seniors some burn who have been a part of this program for a long time.
Absolutely. Down 16, 142 to play. Haven't done well from the charity stripe. It's going to be tough to get back in that, and I agree with you there. I'm sure they didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what to expect with them. Like I said, they're a different team from December to now, but solid ball club, big future in Fitch.
Yeah.
Next 2-3 years are going to be solid for them.
We will have our eyes on it. Always do with this Fitch program. As we mentioned, not just because he has a legendary name, TJ Parker, head football coach, as Jalen McElroy. Check that. Ja'Cory Lipkins lays it off a little bit too hard. Bryce Broom tries to steal it. Marcel Finkley lays it off the glass. Timeout for Coach Brian Beatty. But, Fitch does some really good things up there. TJ Parker runs a solid football program. Coach Brian Beatty, will have our eyes on him here with 119 remaining, leading 49-35. Golden Eagles look to secure this thing.
There's some championship DNA over there, is there not? I mean, there was 3 state titles within 5-6 miles this year?
Yeah.
Canfield?
You had Canfield. You had South Range, who their coach Dan Yeagley just retired. He did the John Elway, rides off into the sunset after 28 years at the helm, wins a state title, knocking off Ironton of all schools. Okay, who's your other one here? Canfield, South Range.
I'm forgetting a third. There's a third.
Gosh darn it, TJ. And I called all those games.
Put you on the spot. My bad.
That's all right. No, still though, 3 titles up in that area.
But hey, shout out to
maybe
the
somebody
Eagles.
that's listening on the YouTube channel, man. You get that, you can shoot it over to me. That's gonna bother me.
It definitely wasn't Fitch, or we would have. Boardman?
It was a small school. Appreciate everybody, though, that has tuned in to us and rolled alongside us here on Saturday's sectional title hoops on our Stark Media YouTube channel. TJ Downing and Jeff the Natural Tyler. We have enjoyed and loved bringing you every second of this ball game as the final minute of the game approaches. Golden Eagles leading 49-35, and Coach Rick Harrison, a la Coach Brian Beanie, burns a timeout. He's going to put in some of his other players to get a little bit of that sectional title feel.
Coming into the game, TJ, is some Fairless blood. Jonathan Birchler, son of Kevin Birchler, graduated high, and Lisa Birchler went to graduated high school with him. So, little FHS blood on the court here in a moment.
Beautiful set of hair that
And
young man
that's
has.
who I'm talking about.
I love it.
Another little samurai warrior in here.
Him and Cam Yaros. Look at him walked up. Except young Jonathan hasn't sprouted the beard that Yaros has got yet. Final minute of the ball game. After this, we will have our Spirit of Stark post-game show, and we will get you our Hilscher Clarke electric player of the ball game. Maybe one or two directions we might be able to go with that. 30 seconds remain here. 49-35 lead as Roman Woods, falling backwards, lays it in and gets the Golden Eagles across the 50 mark, makes it 51-35. Golden Eagles lead, wrapping up a sectional title. Coach Rick Harrison using that Federal League Championship loss as fuel as Roman Woods lays another one in, makes it 53-35. And the Golden Eagles, they are getting ready to celebrate. 6 seconds remain. 3, 2, 1. There you go. Your GlenOak Golden Eagles are the sectional champions and will move on to face either Hoban or Massillon next week in the district semifinal. What a great night here on the campus of GlenOak High School as we see the young men going through the line here. The sectional champs going through the line. Coach Rick Harrison getting ready to meet. Give a little love to Coach Brian Beanie. So we're going to get some numbers totaled up here. And everybody's starting to flood out here. They're like, hey, it's Saturday night. We got a house party to get to. I can tell you.
They shut the final score off on me.
51-35. Whoa, wait. 53-35. After Roman Woods was able to lay his second bucket in after getting put into the ball game. So good job by both coaches clearing your benches, getting a chance to get some kids, some play. Yeah, I can tell you when I was part of that student section over there some 20 years ago, what we would be doing after a basketball game. But, well, we can say that on YouTube. We can't.
Yeah, you can.
We can't say that on 99.7 FM and the free iHeartRadio app. But make sure to check out Sam Berkman and Lee Foster next week. They will be back. We will have our YouTube game of the week on Wednesday. Our district final will be next Saturday. That will be on 99.7 FM and the free iHeartRadio app. And as Jeff starts to kind of total up some numbers here, I want to read through and talk about some of our partners here at Stark Media one more time before we get to those numbers and to our Hilscher Clarke electric player of the game. Also, as we mentioned at the beginning of the ball game when we had our national anthem, our thoughts and prayers are always with our men and women serving this great country, those that have paid and made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms that allow us to be here inside of GlenOak's Gymnasium, seeing a great sectional final game. The freedoms that some of us may take for granted at times, we want to make sure that we're always thinking about our veterans, because the battle for veterans continues even after they've returned home from war, fighting PTSD, health battles, suicidal thoughts, and more. Every day, 22 veterans commit suicide, losing their battle against their demons. And guys like Tom Indorf, founder of Save 22, guys like Jason Rutledge, Tim Arnold, Padre, and all those with the Leatherneck Nation MC, and our friends Dave and Brian Bowman, along with Lucia at the Sam Center, are standing up for their fellow soldiers. Save 22 Veterans, founded in Carrollton, serves as a resource for veterans, first responders, and those in need alike. Focusing on veteran suicide prevention and awareness locally and beyond, Save 22, a veteran-run organization, offers a number of veteran therapy programs. for professional racing, fishing, camping, and outdoor adventures, or shoulder to lean on and an ear to listen. For more information, visit their website at save22.vet or follow Save22 on social media by searching Save22-Veterans. Our partners at CH Vallis and Associates, what a phenomenal job they do for us, not only for us, but what they've done for the North Canton community for over 75 years. When you're looking for home, auto, life, and financial service needs, contact CH Vallis and Associates at 330-494-2776. They're located at 1302 South Main Street in North Canton. Again, a staple in the North Canton community. Contact Chris or Jimmy Vallis for your free quote. They will take care of you on all of your insurance needs. We also want to thank all of our partners, proud presenters of this broadcast on the Stark Media YouTube channel, the Eagles FOE 190 in downtown Massillon, Hilscher Clarke Electric Company, and these broadcasts also brought to you by Lindsay's Pizza, McNeil & Sons Tree Service, FinallyHereOhio.com, Spirit of Stark, Leathernecks Nation MC, the Sam Center, and Save22.vet. All right, so we've got our Spirit of Stark post-game show rocking and rolling. Also want to mention our friends over at Simon Says Promotions, Corey Golf and Event Center, Red Door Apparel and Clothier, the Tiger Store. Go check out our friends at Spirit of Stark as well. Over at 409 Erie Street North for all your digital, vinyl, sublimation printing, anything you need, your custom embroidery, all of your apparel needs, go check out our friends at Spirit of Stark. All right, as we wait for my guy to come over here, getting some final numbers, I'm going to let him start to rattle through some of those for you. And, yes, thank you. New Bremen was the other one. D7, they were able to knock off Warren JFK.
New Berman.
So, Corey Cook, I appreciate you, my man. Lauren C., she said Poland. Then Poland Bulldogs couldn't get it done, but I'll tell you what, Coach P over there, man, does a phenomenal job with that crew. So the Poland Bulldogs always tough. Don't want to remind you the last time I had a chance to see them, that was when they went over and took out your Fearless Falcons.
Hey.
I'm going to let you get some numbers, partner. I'm going to go grab our player of the game.
All right, perfect. So at the end of one, it was GlenOak leading 11-5. At the end of two, it was GlenOak losing 21-23. So Fitch came out and had a great second quarter there where they dropped 18. Third quarter, at the end of three, GlenOak really stepped it up, had a 12-point quarter versus Fitch's 5-point quarter. So at the end of three, it was GlenOak 33, Fitch 28. And then to cap it off, GlenOak went on a run. They had a 20-point final quarter versus Fitch's 7-point quarter. So a final 53-35 GlenOak. And, very similar shooting across the board between the two teams. I did my best here to not only run the camera, but also track some stats. But these are by no means official. I am really missing the Walsh ladies over there that give me live stats throughout the game. It definitely makes it easier. But, what I've got overall is from overall shooting, GlenOak at 43%. From the three-point line, 25%. So they struggled from the three ball. They didn't shoot a ton of them, though. Did a good job of getting there in the interior, scoring down low and providing pressure there. And then they were 75% from the free throw line. TJ's on his way back here. We're going to discuss player of the game here in a moment. Fitch from the field was 41%. So very similar Fitch to GlenOak from the field. 3-point, though, Fitch shot a lot better from the three ball, 38%, and 66% from the free throw line. I think, give me a moment here. I'm going to dive in here and try to find, I think we're going to actually get an interview here. You setting up an interview, TJ? Yep. I think we're going to get Coach Hairston in here, and we can ask him a few questions there. But let me try to get some official actual scores here.
What's up, brother? Pop that headset on real quick, man. Yeah.
I'm going to pause here for a moment while we get the quick interview.
All right. Our guy, Kenny Scott, joining us. Yeah. Leading scorer in the ball game,
Great job, brother. Great job.
So talk about the energy out there on the court tonight, man, especially as you guys ended the first half, you're trailing, right? Carter Owens gets hot, knocks down a couple 3 balls.
Yep.
What was the message from Coach Harrison at the half?
He in the locker room said, "Stop letting that guy shoot." You know. Yeah, because he got a few open ones. He said no more open ones for him. I don't think he made another one.
No.
For the rest of the game. So yeah.
No, he didn't.
He did not.
But on the energy, it was great. You know, just to see our student section. That's not the best our student section, but you know they were still here for us. You know, yeah. So it was great energy on the floor. You know, we helping our teammates and all that.
Well, I tell you what. One thing that I noticed before the game, that you guys you're now 6-6 on the season at home, right?
Yep.
You guys are better on the road. On the road.
Yep.
So that's pretty amazing, right? I think 11-1. I think on the road. I had 11-1.
Oh, you probably counted Nordonia.
Yeah, I am.
Yep.
I am. So I got you 11-1 on the road.
Yep.
Tell me about what that speaks volumes, does it not, going into the playoffs, possibly on the road from now on.
Yeah,
at our neutral site.
We love it. We love going to other people's gyms. You know, the message is always in the locker room. Go take it from them. You know.
Yeah.
Go take that win from them. That's what it is. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath still.
Yeah. We got you quick. We got you quick. Hey, if you're going to be a star, you're going to have to learn how to catch that breath.
You know, it's funny. We'll transition on that topic about being quick, right? So it seems like between you and Jalen, anytime you guys get the rock, you get a turnover, whatnot, a rebound, you guys want to pressure, move, get you transition quickly. I mean, it's for a lot of teams to keep up with your guys' athleticism, it's tough, you know. And then on the backside of that, you guys are constantly pressuring on defense. You guys are up double digits, and you're still pressuring late in the fourth quarter on defense, man. That mentality is something that comes down from coach, right?
Yep. That's what me and Jalen love to do. You know, we like to call ourselves some thieves because you know we get a lot of steals. You know, so yeah, we love to pressure the ball, get easy buckets for our team. You know, when we didn't even have a good shooting night today, so that's how we got to get it.
Very low scoring first period. You know, is that something where you guys kind of talk to each other? Whenever you have a timeout or you have a moment, you guys are huddled up or there's a foul situation saying, okay, let's just pump the brakes, settle down. Yeah, I get it. It's for a sectional title, but let's just reel this thing back in. And boom, you look at the output that you guys had in the second half, and you guys were on fire.
Yep. Yeah, that's for sure.
So you're our Hilscher Clarke Electric Player of the Game.
Oh,
so
okay,
on Tuesday night, Jalen was able to get those honors. So now the other part of the Thick as Thieves group, you're going to lock it down. Kenny Scott joining us here on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel for your effort. You were the leading scorer in this ball game today. Tonight, sectional title. That's pretty special, man. What's that feeling like, knowing that it's just part of the journey, right?
Yep.
But to have your student body, the student section, the Eagles nest there holding you guys down, you know, and to know that you're bringing a piece of hardware to them, to this school, that's a pretty special feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels great, especially because, you know, we were supposed to be last. You know, all the coaches voted us last in the Federal League. And to come and almost win the Federal League, you know, we were disappointed by that loss with Green. Though.
Well, we were talking about that on air. It
still hurts, you know,
but,
still hurts.
Hey, so we were saying you guys were probably going to come in here with a chip on your shoulder, playing Lake for the third time in the season.
Yep.
After we felt you were right in a hunt all year, obviously had a great season. I even looked at your losses, 17-6 overall. 4 of our losses came within the Federal League. How do you think that helps you having a battle like that, not only down in the season, but going down the stretch against teams in your own conference? And then it's kind of like a Big Ten thing, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just battling all year long.
Every week, every team.
And even though you drop on it, and you might be frustrated with that, what's that feel like then going into playoffs and having confidence?
Yeah, it gets us ready for the tough teams that we're about to play. You know, we're probably going to play Masson or Hoban. Those are
you got Hoban.
Hoban won?
Yeah, they won by 30.
30?
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean,
hey, talk about your guy over here.
Dede. No,
my man brings a little energy out there, doesn't he?
He's strong with the ball, you know, just a lot of rebounds, all that. You know, we love him on the team. But yeah, back on the Hoban, we're definitely going to have to battle with them.
Yeah.
Back on what you guys were saying with the Federal League, that gets us ready for the battles that we're about to have up and coming.
How do you feel about, you know, going to that neutral site? You guys will be playing at Twinsburg, so
like you said, we're on the road. You know.
Well, yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, man. But now that it's neutral, it's like, hey, they have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. But send a message right now to everybody in playing local. Get there, right? Get there next week. They're going to see a show, right?
For sure, yes. That's going to be a great game. You know, and I think we could pull it out. I think we go far.
You know what I think is great with you guys, like you mentioned, and you brought it up. You guys didn't shoot the ball great tonight, and you were able to figure out. Was Coach consciously saying we're gonna? I noticed that the aggressiveness on you guys on your side of the ball was frustrating. Is that something you guys talked about and said, let's keep that pressure, let's body them, put some bodies on them, get some possible turnovers, defense to offense. Is that something you guys discussed, or did that just happen
during film? It was definitely a key point. You know, we wanted to pressure these guys from the start all the way to the end. A key point. You know, it worked for us.
Right. Great job doing defense to offense and creating, and 20 point fourth quarter to finish it off.
Yeah.
Would finish at 53 points. That speaks volumes about winning championship DNA down the stretch.
Yeah.
Listen, things were a little bit slow scoring wise for both teams in the start, man. It's never about how you start, man. It's always about how you finish. So we want to just give you a special shout out, my man, getting it done. All right. Hilscher Clarke, Electric Player of the game. Kenny Scott for all he did for the GlenOak Golden Eagles tonight, man, bringing home a sectional title. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us here on the campus of Plain Local Schools. Want to mention again here, 53-35 victory for the Golden Eagles over Fitch. And now GlenOak will travel to Twinsburg, and they are going to take on Hoban. So we'll have that for you. It's going to be an electric atmosphere as we move now into districts. Should be fun, should be exciting. Kenny Scott, he's excited.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, Jeff, my man, we'll be out there, man. We're going to be behind you guys. So Golden Eagles will be behind you. Everybody out here, pack the gym, head up to Twinsburg.
Yep.
Make sure you're supporting these Golden Eagles. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. For my partner, Jeff Tyler, I'm TJ Downing. For Kenny Scott, Hilscher Clarke, Electric Player of the game, we wrap it and say, have a great weekend. Be safe. Enjoy your loved ones. Worship somewhere tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, more basketball next week. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Good stuff.